are you guys?
Thank you for your time. I would love to just sit and chat with you someday, maybe in the future. Maybe we could get you down to Houston because I know you're used to Texas. But Elizabeth, I want to ask you some questions, and Carter, just jump in anytime. But I'm kind of geeking out, just such an uber fan of what's been taking place on an international level with The Chosen.
I was one way, and now I am completely different. And the thing that happened in between was him.
It doesn't get much better than to talking to the woman who portrays somebody who I think may be the most relatable character on the entire show, at least from my stance, male or female. I think the brokenness that you portray so beautifully is something we can all relate to. Do you relate to Mary?
I think you just said, I think everyone does, right?
Yeah.
I know when I first booked it, I've mentioned before, I was coming out of a depression and searching for meaning and a little sad and lost. And I connected so deeply with the audition scenes. I was feeling that sense of despair that Lilith was feeling in episode 1. And from that moment, every scene in every new episode, as she develops into Mary, into backsliding, into back to being herself, I have found uncanny connections with in my own life. In order to sort of feel that renewed and like redeemed spirit for episode 2 of season 1, like I actually was feeling that because I had this renewed hope about like acting and having a more joyful life. And so I've been able to really use some of my own life for the character. And at the same time, the character has really helped sort of shape me too. It's influenced and inspired me in terms of having more hope and believing that really beautiful, amazing things can happen in this world.
Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You have experienced a miracle, Mary. I saw him. It was incredible.
There is someone that anyone could relate to, whether that is someone who feels like an outsider or someone who is overzealous or someone who feels shame or has trauma. There's a character sort of for everyone to relate to and to kind of work through their own things through.
I have a specific question because I was curious about what drew you to the script, but I think more than anything, I was kind of starting to rewatch the very first episode, and obviously it's a lot about Mary and the first plot line with Nicodemus and everything before we even meet Jesus. Maybe it was then, maybe it's something since. What was the most powerful moment of the show for you?
There are a number of scenes that I felt changed after. And one of them is I think episode 6 of season 2, where Simon and Matthew come and find me. That sense of friendship and care for someone that is sort of resisting it, I connected to in a really deep way, and that's the sort of thing that carried on into the actors' lives, and even in our interactions with each other off screen, like those things affect how we perform with each other, how we act with each other, and that type of like loving friendship meant a lot because I also felt it from them as actors while we were filming. So there's like a little crossover of characters and actors and what's real and what's written. But those are always my favorite types of scenes where it feels like afterwards everyone's a little changed for the better,
And I heard that you have like a playlist that kind of gets you into. Ooh, okay. Yeah. So what playlist?
It's like a variety of songs that that I was just listening to on Spotify and I was liking, and then of course they recommend and kept getting better and better. But there were just some really sweet songs that just would like sort of trigger this mood that would help me get into the character, that would help me get into the scene. Sometimes with the amount of scenes I had to do this season that required a heightened emotion, I was nervous about. I was nervous that I would be able to get there each time, every take.
Yeah.
You know, we shoot one shot at the beginning in like October or November, and then we cut to something in March. So I'm like trying to match the same emotions and trying to remember what I did. And it can be hard, you know, keeping up with it all. And it can be hard to get right back into it. Knowing that I was like in this state then, now I have to be again months later. So I think one of my little tricks for that is music and having this sort of sensory recall of how I felt when I first heard it early and then feeling it again this time. So
From Carter and I, we're just so grateful. Keep it up. We're anticipating the third season. You're struggling through whatever months you call it a struggle. God helped you shift beautifully into that emotional place. I know it wasn't easy work. It's hard work, but it's so amazing. And it's bringing people hope around the world that only Jesus can bring. And we're loving you, girl. You're doing.
Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you guys so much.